Hey everybody. So I charged my camera today. Alright. So it's a pretty nice day. So I decided to see how much I hate myself again. And I came to a place I hardly ever go to because it is very difficult to get here. It's like almost 2, maybe 3 football fields of nothing but pretty drastic inclines of a hill. So yeah, I don't usually come up here. I've only been up here once. I want to first warn you, or give a warning label to this. Don't go exploring abandoned buildings on your own. Just because I do it doesn't mean you should do it. I have little regard for my life. If you feel the same way, then to each his own. But you should definitely do this in pairs or trios, just in case if something happens, as far as hostile people or a flaw in the building design that could cause bodily harm over the amount of time that it's been, abandoned. So you don't do this unless you're prepared. Now, I do this alone because, well, I have no friends. I have very little people. Last time I was out here, I came out here with like 3 or 4 guys. We were in college together. So we came up to explore several buildings, and this is one we hit. We didn't stay too long. I don't remember there being too much to see. Apparently, someone has been here, because this is new. Well, I don't want to say that. I haven't been here in a while, but this looks really new. It's actually quite good, too. Like, I don't know who did this, but the bigger ones are quite impressive. You're probably thinking, why would I come all the way to a place like this if you already knew it's dangerous to go on your own, and that it's kind of torture to get here? Well, one, I am really, really tired of the same places. Like, I can't even begin. I hope I don't have to come back down this way. This is dangerous. Dangerous. But, alright, I can go around. That's good. But, doing this just breaks up the monotony of a lot of the other stuff I do. Yeah, somebody's been here. I'm waiting to get, clubbed in the back of the head. I guess for the most part, no signs of initial life. And, this is the second story, the second floor. This is where things get to be more dangerous. Now, in a building like this, I concern myself more with the roof falling in than the floor collapsing, because these buildings were made to hold heavy machinery, and my $170, $180 shouldn't have much of an impact. That is quite good. I don't know. I keep seeing this artwork, different places. I never run into the people that do it. It's kind of strange. It is what it is. They probably don't want to meet me, and honestly, probably wouldn't benefit me much meeting them either. So yeah. It'd be nice if there was some cans of spray paint here. I'd actually give it a go. I'm a bit of an artist. Graffiti has never been my strong point, but I have an artistic quality about me. But, alright, that's about all there is to see. It's a rather big building, but it's just two large open spaces. I do want to say that I heard something when I came in here, like when I came up the walkway, and I really anticipated finding a person, because it sounded like movement twice, but it is what it is. They might be sneakier than me, that and I'm, talking out loud. Yeah, there's a lot of spray paint. I doubt any of it has any paint left. Looks like it's been here for a little while. Now I could walk that way through the mud, or I could go through and down the very dangerous stairs. Decisions. I think I'll take the mud. I got more socks. I only got 2 legs. Try to stay as, I don't want to say clean, because clean isn't going to happen. As dry as possible. But I'm not holding my breath. The goal would be to make it through here without falling in a puddle or stepping on a nail. Anything else is pretty acceptable. God, it's like a marsh. Alright. I don't know. I thought if we kept going that way, there's 2 houses. But it looks like the path ends. But we'll walk up anyway, because, well, why not, right? This is supposed to be a little less depressing nonsense of me complaining about life, and a little bit more of me just trying to enjoy the little things. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of things I can't do. There's a lot of things that hinder my movement and progression. But with all things considered, there is a lot of things I can do. And it's a metaphorical consolation prize. Yeah, a metaphorical consolation prize. I ain't gonna get my Hallmark greeting card family with a house on a lake, with a fishing boat, and a pickup truck. But at least I can still walk. And I think that'll be something I could take advantage of for probably another 10 years. I suffered a few injuries that makes some things a little more difficult than they used to be. For some reason, when I went to get my new eyeglasses, they were in the last video. Very nice. But when I went to get my eyeglasses, for some reason the girl that kind of fits you for them, she's probably old enough to be my mother. So it's not like at least not on my end. It wasn't a romantic conversation, but we talked a bit about our lives. It was really on the strange side, but as I said before, with what little friends and communication I have with people, it is a little bit nice to actually talk to somebody every once in a while on a fairly normal level. So we were talking, and I mentioned something about my last eyeglasses, how they got broke, or how they went missing. And I said about injuring myself, and she asked if I did parkour. And I kind of said, yeah, but then I quickly corrected myself, because, I mean, yes, but it was more like trying it. And now, I really kind of can't. Too risky. I have, my right shoulder and my right ankle can't handle unnecessary stress. And my left ankle got a wee bit of damage as well. So it's not worth the risk. Like, even walking out here, if I slip and I twist my ankle, it's gonna be a long, painful walk back. And I try to take those things into consideration before I come out this far. But then I think to myself, I'm like, I can walk the same old boring trail and the same thing could happen. Yeah, I might run into a person that might maybe help me. Yeah, at least I know it a little bit better. But in retrospect, as much of a metaphorical hell it is to get here, it's at least it's all downhill on the way back. So yeah, it's kind of the silver lining. Like, walking up here is torture. I hate walking along roads. I hate walking steep hills. But once I make it to the woods, I'm almost completely refreshed. It's almost like I didn't hike that far in the first place, if that makes any sense. I don't know what it is. It's got to be a mental thing, because my body did go through the stress of walking up here, but now knowing that I'm here, I'm at the destination, I'm through the rough part, it's a bit refreshing. So yeah. I just said I wanted this to be a little more of exploration than complaining and talking, but I think we're pretty far away from those houses. Let me cut here, and I'll walk up a little bit, and then if I don't find anything, we'll just turn this into a walk and talk. So I followed a pretty fresh deer trail, about 300 yards, 300 meters, depending on your nationality. And it boiled down to climbing a hill riddled with these reeds, or whatever they are, or cross the creek. And I decided I don't really want to do either of those things, so I turned around and gonna make our way back and see maybe what's on the other side, maybe. Now, the entrance to this trail splits off two ways, and the other way goes up to a power station, but I'm not sure if there's anything past that. I know people hunt up here, so I'm assuming there's more trails somewhere. One thing I've learned through my period of life on this planet is that people get lazier and lazier. So, yeah, I assume that, oh, a spider. But, people typically get lazier and lazier. So, they go to places that are easy to traverse, which, can't really blame them. Why break your back walking when you can take the easy way, right? And that rings true for a lot of things. Is this the way I went? Yeah, this is the way I went. It has to be the way I went. Hang on, I gotta get over a log. Oh. Log was kind of rotten. And, so, I don't know. Let's go. I feel like I went this way. I'm not lost. I just don't want to take a harder route if I don't have to. I've been getting deeper into an emotional crisis of sorts. It's like, I don't know if any of you can relate, but I have this overwhelming calm about me. Like, I'm really, really calm. But at the same time, like, I know there's things wrong. I know I can't change them. But I know I shouldn't be calm. But at the same time, I have this overwhelming anger. It's getting worse and worse. Like, every day, I'm like, on the inside, I'm like more and more and more angry. But on the outside, I'm just numb. It's really weird. It's not really a big concern at the moment. But it is a little off-putting. It's like, I'm angry about how things turned out. I'm angry that I can't fix things. I'm angry I'm in the situations that I'm in. But I got a level of complacency with it, which worries me. It worries me just as much as, having that anger inside. It's like, picture your skin as like a shell. Like, your outward appearance, the space you take up, there would be an ever so thin shell around your entire body, and you could step away from it and look back at. And inside, you can see your emotions as we'll say like colored smaller shells. Well, it's like my outward shell, the clear shell, the glass that holds in the soul, the essence, the being of what I am, is there. And I don't want to say just below the surface, but not all that far away either. There's this red aura of anger. And once it reaches that limit, once it reaches that outward shell, now this is metaphorical, of course, it's just a way of explaining it. Once it gets to that maximum capacity, I'm a little concerned of what might happen. Because I know me. I know me. I know old me. I know new me. I know who I am and what I'm capable of. And I'm not a dangerous person by any stretch of the imagination. I always was and always will be a pacifist. I don't like conflict. I don't like hurting people. I don't like causing harm or receiving harm. So usually, when one or more of my emotions get to a point of causing concern, I kind of like self-destruct, I guess. It's like, to prevent myself from doing something that I would really regret, or prevent myself from lashing out at someone that may not deserve it, it's that metaphor of bottling it up. There's no healthy outlet. Like, I used to be able to curve it by hitting the gym, hitting the punching bag, taking walks like this, but the older I get, the less resources I have, the less outlets I have, and the less drive I have to do stuff like this. Somebody just comes up here and dumps all their garbage. I was kind of hoping to find a couple old TVs to rip apart to make the journey up here a little bit more worth it, but it doesn't look like that's going to be a thing. Alright. I usually keep my emotions in check very well. Like, I rarely have concern that I'm going to do something truly regrettable or do something truly bad. But I've always had like a way out, so to speak. I've always had like either a way to vent certain emotions, or I don't know. Either a way to kind of vent the certain emotions, or kind of leave them out in a healthier, semi-healthier way. It's like finding what you think is causing you the pain, picturing the punching bag being that thing, and just laying into it. Used to be an interesting coping method. My problem is I rarely know what's truly causing me the anguish that I feel inside. Like, a lot of times, it's the situation I'm in. How do you personify that? Who do you lash out at? Who do you take that out on? It's not my fault. But when it comes down to it, we're gonna go this way. Let's see what's down here. And before anyone thinks or comments or whatever, psychiatric help is a joke. It may help some, but it's just another illusion. It gives you send off your paycheck to have the false sense of somebody listening to you, the false sense of somebody caring. It's a joke. If I need fake people, I don't have to go very far for that. And I don't have to pay them either. So yeah, that's where I stand on psychiatric help. When the second unreasonable calamity hit my life, I did schedule a psychiatric appointment, and I did talk to people, and it didn't make me feel any better. For the most part, it left me with more questions than answers, and you really can't. This is like a field. I didn't even know this was here. Oh well, easier walking. But take a little look-see. Alright. it left me with more questions than answers. It was like, you know, that stupid Dr. Phil quote. How does that make you feel? Well, it makes me feel angry. It makes me feel misunderstood. It makes me feel used, tricked. It makes me feel like I was a tool for somebody else's game. It makes me feel like I was just a product of a scheme gone wrong, a scapegoat. It makes me feel like I'm gonna pay for the rest of my life for something that I really don't think I did. And you're probably thinking, what do you mean? What do you mean you don't think you did it? Well, if you watch my videos, you know I mentioned it's like a memory swap, building walls kind of thing. It's like somebody took what I know and molded it like Play-Doh until it fit their needs. The example I used was, you know, dude goes to the store and buys an apple. Or, yeah, dude goes to the store. I don't remember. It was something like, you know, dude wakes up, does a task, and him waking up and him doing a task is still in his head, but everything in between was changed. So like, I don't know. Like I said, it's hard to explain. You'd have to actually live it to know it. That's just kind of how it is. Anyways, I had an interesting encounter today. Back when I was a salesman of sorts, I ran into a guy I used to deal with, and he asked me to come in, and I was honestly a bit on the hesitant side, because I was like, you know, that part of my life is dead for many reasons. I mean, other than him being a little weird, he never really did anything to me. So, there's a deer. Oh no, it's a fox. It's a freaking gray fox. That's an old one too. I don't know if you guys can see it. He's big. I wonder if that's man, that's big enough that it could almost be a coyote. Nah, not up here. I mean, maybe. No, I'm sticking with a gray fox. It's too small to be a coyote. It's a little big for a fox, though. Either way, not much danger there. That's one of the reasons I do these things, you know? Get to see cool stuff like that. But anyways, so ran into the dude. He asked me to come in. I was a little bit on the hesitant side, but like I said, overall, other than being shortchanged a couple of times, he hasn't really done anything to me physically or emotionally. So I went along with it and sat for a couple of minutes. He asked me if I was still in the line of work that I used to be in, and I told him no. And he asked why, and I gave him the little story the best I could. But he just kind of looked at me like everybody else does, like, so, you know, like, well, you kind of asked. I gave him the short version to keep from frying his brain. And you got to understand this guy, right? So, like I said, he could be a little weird. He doesn't look much older than he did when I was back in this town a long time ago, and he is a fairly intimidating fellow. He's probably a few inches taller than me, and probably muscle-wise twice the bulk. I really wouldn't say I'm scared of him, But if it came down to a fight, I don't really think I'd win. But it never really came to that, so I wasn't too concerned. Like I said, other than the weirdness and the blast from the past, he's a fairly chill person, so I went along with it. I don't know if that'll come back to bite me in the ass later or not. I said the ass word. I try not to swear on camera. I don't know, like I'm pretty sure hell and ass are okay, but like the F word is like a no-no. I'm not really sure what the rules are. It's so annoying. They're all freaking words. What does it matter? I never figured out if I called somebody a name of the same connotation as a swear word, what's the difference? I don't write the book. So here's another thing. So recently, the last couple of weeks, I went shopping with my aunt, and I went to shoot some pole, and both times I ran into these people. Well, my aunt was one of them, and then some guy that I shoot pole with on rare occasions was one of them, asked me about if I'm religious. And we almost got into an actual fight over it. I'm like, listen, I don't disrespect your beliefs. Why would you disrespect mine? That doesn't sound very, religious or godly. And I was like, people wage entire wars throughout history over these beliefs. And when it boils down to, it's meaningless. What it boils down to is just one idea against another. It's not hurting anybody. It's not causing anybody pain. It's just everybody's intolerance to each other's beliefs that cause rage and anger to well up to the point of killing people by the masses over something as simple as, do you believe this, do you believe that? And it always irritated me, because I'm like, if there's a God, I highly doubt that's what he wanted. If there's a God, I highly doubt that's the world he would want, any God would want. So, who are we to decide that? I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to get another sneak peek at that creature. I really feel like it was a fox, but that was kind of big. I wonder, do you think I can kick it? Maybe. What do you think? Yay! Broken foot. No. That did hurt a little bit, but it was rotten enough that I knew how much force to put behind it. It's just, I don't like talking about religion on here to other people for the simple fact of I don't know enough about it. I wasn't there when, these things happened. I wasn't there when they writ the good book or a so-called human being turned water to wine or whatever. I wasn't there when these things happened. I don't believe in magic and fairy tales, I believe in what I see. I believe in what I feel. Whether it's true or not, I believe that if there was a righteous being that created this world, that he would want us to progress as a species, not kill each other over if he exists or not. Dude's like, all you have to say is I give myself over to God. And I'm like, no. For one, my idea is such, alright? If there is a God, he wouldn't threaten you or promise you eternal damnation and burning in a fire of flames of deathness for all eternity if you didn't believe in him. If there was a God, he would be like, live your life the best you can. with what you got. Do the best you can for yourself and for others around you. In my little side note, within reason, of course. Like, someone tells you to buy them a car, I wouldn't say run out and buy them a car because it's the nice godly thing to do. I would say, you know, help when you can. Refrain from making life harder for other people. I wouldn't say follow the good book to the T or burn in eternal flame for all eternity. That doesn't sound very godly. Alright, that's enough religion. Like I said, I don't really like talking about it because I don't know all that much about it, and it's really a subject that causes too much anger and emotion. I told my aunt, I was like, you know what? Next time, why don't we talk about abortion? You know, let's pick another subject that's really horrible, or government. You know, I'm like these things for me are clear cut. You know, whatever's causing the pain in the world, if there's an entity that could fix it all with the snap of their fingers, and they don't do it, they're just as bad as the people causing the pain. If the government is taking taxes and spending it on their luxury cruises, their private yachts and jets, their multiple summer homes, instead of what needs to be done, then they're a problem. The power's in the wrong place. Abortion, on the other hand, I have a very, very unique, I think, fairly unique outlook on that. I think, considering what I know about women, what I know about some women, I think if the pregnancy was a product of involuntary actions, if that makes sense. I don't want to say the R word because that might be discouraged too. But if the pregnancy is from those terms, then to me, abortion's okay. That young lady, that woman that got the pregnancy as a condition, of one of those conditions, doesn't deserve to have her life ruined because of somebody else's views. She didn't consent. Now, on the other hand, when you got these 14-year-old girls thinking it's some sort of game, sleeping with every jock in high school, they shouldn't have the option. Yeah, they were too young to make the choice in the first place. Yeah, it's probably wrong, but, you know, they voluntarily did it. You know, in this world, by that age, I think everyone should know the repercussions. In other countries, girls are getting married at 14, 15, or having kids and conceiving heirs in some countries, you know, probably a little bit more third worldy, but it happens. In my view, it's, yeah, they were kind of young to make that choice, but they made that choice, and they should have to live with it. The baby doesn't deserve to be terminated because they couldn't keep their legs closed. That's kind of how I view it. And now that we got all that out of the way, I'm gonna go and see what's on the other side, and we'll see if there's anything worth exploring. Because I'm pretty much all talked out now of all of all the crap and garbage that plagues my existence. I did plan to do like a monologue of me talking to the camera as if it was a person that I wanted to speak to, but knew that my message would fall on deaf ears. And I decided that was kind of stupid. If you guys watched this far, which I doubt, but if you did, that still bothers me, by the way. I have people that watch my videos for 15 seconds and just decide it's wrong. Just decide they're not watching it. I'm like, how do you make those? Even when I come to animes, and I choose animes to watch, I watch like the first 3 episodes before I decide if it's garbage or not. These people are like 15 seconds. He said hello. It's over. Close it. Close it. You know? It irritates me. But I did have another video idea. As you guys may know, I do gaming, video games, RuneScape in particular, and Minecraft. There was a critter. Don't know what it was. It was a critter. And I was thinking, I never played Dungeons and Dragons or tabletop games. I've seen people play. I've never played. I was thinking about mapping out what my skills would be in real life in a bit of a RuneScape format. Now, I mean, I'd have to change things like magic, because, you know, if there's magical powers and I have them, I haven't discovered them yet. So yeah, I'd have to change something like that. But I was thinking about making like what I think my skills would be in real life. I thought that would be kind of a cool idea. I will see. Anyways, I'm at the head of the trail, so I'm going to walk up the other way and see if there's anything worth looking at. If not, well, I'll be getting to editing, so later. It's an old power plant. I will walk around it. I don't really know if I'm supposed to be here, but there's no signs, so it's whatever. On down over the hill, there's a path I always wanted to take, but somebody took the time of putting up like a posted sign, like do not enter sign, like every 5 feet. So I figured if somebody put that much effort into putting up all those signs, that maybe I probably shouldn't ignore those ones. So I decided not to. It would have been less of a hill, but it's alright. Guess the end justifies the means or something. I guess not really gonna explore much here. I guess what I wanted to say that I think I found a video. I was saying how I listen to scary stories and podcasts. I found one that actually describes my life problem that I'm having. And I might, if I remember or can find it, I think I'll link it in the description. It was read by Mr. Davis. He's one of the new podcast guys I've been watching, because I pretty much exhausted everything they had on the other ones. So I've been watching Mr. Davis's while I've been playing and editing and stuff, or listening to. Not really much watching involved. It's a little newer than I thought it was. At least they cleaned it up a bit. Let's go down here. That's down there's where I wanted to go, because I figured there'd be more buildings along the path. But they are going above and beyond signage to keep people out of there. Plus the gate they have in front has a fence pretty far up, and I don't really want to climb it. It looks like a walking tetanus factory, and I didn't really want to try to go underneath it, because once again, when I got my tetanus shot, it was like 4 or 5 years, 6, 7 years ago, so I'm pretty sure it wore off by now. So yeah, I was hoping to see the critter. Like, I thought by going this far, it'd be down there somewhere. It probably ran up there into the woods, so it'd be my idea. But yeah, I'll probably put that video in the description. I don't really want to post their videos and my videos because I don't know how they'd feel about that if they ever found out. And this one's like 2 hours long, so it's a little bit different than having the one that was like, 7 or 8 minutes. I didn't feel bad or feel like it was a chore to put the shorter one in a video of mine, but the one that they spent 3 or 4 hours on, I don't feel right taking their work like that. Well, unfortunately, this looks like about as far as we're gonna go, unless I jump off the cliff. Just kidding. Probably. I'm kidding, because I'm wearing my good jeans, and more likely I would just get injured, and that's not something I'm interested in. It's not really that steep. Could slide down it. There's a critter. What are you? It's over there. I can see it moving, but I don't know what it is. It was dark. It looked to be about the size of a groundhog, but it made a lot of noise. Well, only one way to find out. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna walk back around the other side, and then I think I'm gonna head back to the house. Unless I get bald, then yeah, this could be like one of those found footage things. All right, later.